What is up, guys? Welcome back to the CrownHoops Podcast. We're on to episode number 33 now. My name is Jordan Daly. With me this week, we have the whole crew back together. We got Mike White, Stacey Collier, and Ben Okazawa. Say what's up, guys.
What's up? What's up?
It's crazy. We're just looking back. This is our year anniversary from when we first started this podcast. We've gone through like 3 name changes, I think, already. Started with The Last Word, then it was Hoop Life TV, and now it's Crown Hoops. So if you guys have been there through it all, thank you for listening. We appreciate it. But anyways, let's get right into it. A lot's happened, and I mean a lot, and I say that every week, but like this time I mean it. Like, I don't think we've ever seen this much happen since we've last talked. The whole league is shut down. It's pretty crazy how far this coronavirus has gone. I'm not even going to go into that because if you don't know what the coronavirus is or COVID-19, you're living under a rock. So I'll leave it at that. Basically, the league shut down. Kind of want to go around the room real quick and just hear your opinions on that. Kind of tell your story of like where you were and what your initial thoughts were and how serious you took it. We'll start with you, Ben.
Yeah, for me, see, I was at school because at that point school was still running. I was with my friend, and then we were in my room, and then he left. He was going home. He was on the subway, so I called him like 3 times when I found out. And he wasn't picking up, and I was like, I need to talk to someone about this right now because nothing like this has ever happened before while I've been alive, at least. And it's just crazy to think no NBA. It's the weirdest thing. But man, I don't know. It's crazy, but I think it's the right thing to do. End of the day.
Okay, Stacey, what about you?
I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't remember where I was at, but I remember how I felt. I was shocked, but then again, I kind of wasn't surprised after I saw that they canceled the Jazz and Thunder game. They canceled the game before it started. Whatever, had players go back to the locker room, and I knew from there that Adam Silver was just going to shut it down. I was taken aback a bit because I was, getting ready to come back on the podcast show, getting ready to retool my separate show, getting back on my sports writing thing. I love writing about the NBA, and next thing you know, this happened. So as a fan, I was shocked. As a fan, I was upset. And as a sports writer, I was like, where do I go now? Like, what do I do now? And, I missed the NBA. Like I said, I love basketball, but like Ben said, this was the right thing to do. We got to be safe. We got to make sure the players safe and everything and stop this spread. So, it's the right thing to do, but man, I miss the NBA. I really do.
Me too, man. What about you, Mike?
Same thing. I don't remember where I was at. I just remember when I think I was at work, and I think I seen it on Twitter. I just remember saying, damn, like no NBA, no nothing. Like, what am I finna watch? Especially the way it was building up to the playoffs with the Lakers and the Clippers and the Bucks and the Celtics. All these good teams gearing up for the playoffs, which was right around the corner. For it to just be cut, it sucks, but at the same time, like, I understand the circumstance. I understand what's going on. I understand it's a panic out there right now. So they did the right thing, and I just can't wait. Hopefully this doesn't last too long because I'm ready. I'm just ready for the playoffs. They can skip the regular season. I know we're going to get into that, but I just want that to come back because that hurt. That hurt.
Yeah, man. I was across the country. I'm from Boston. I was in Portland, Oregon when that happened. And like we said, like there was just another game was about to tip off, and they called it. And then they, not too long after, announced that, the league is shut down. And kind of the timeline of the coronavirus, stepping away from basketball for a second, is like everyone's like kind of like, yeah, it's a thing. No one's really afraid of it. And then, the league shuts down. And it kind of seems like right after the NBA shut things down, literally every other league across the globe started shutting down. Then it was the MLB did their spring season. They canceled that. March Madness called it off. And it was kind of a huge wake-up call for, I think, everyone, and even people that don't even pay attention to sports, that, maybe we are kind of dealing with something serious. And then obviously, like, everything started closing, like restaurants, bars. Like, Boston's a ghost town. Like, there's nobody out there. San Francisco is in a complete lockdown. So I think the NBA shutting down the league was kind of like that first stepping stone to kind of where we are now. I don't know about you guys, but like I can't really leave my house unless I'm going to a grocery store, and like they're not really wanting people to go do that either. But NBA kind of shutting down was kind of that first step into, where we are now going forward with that. So it'll be interesting to see. But I'm curious to hear your thoughts on, how the league and all of the teams around the league are handling this situation. I mean, to give you an idea of what I'm talking about. So obviously the league shut down, and Mark Cuban right off the bat was saying that he's going to find a way to pay his employees in the arena that help out with the team, because obviously they're not going to have the games to go to anymore for a while. So, him coming up and saying that, he was going to, put money towards making sure that they're still getting their wages was a really huge step, in employee relations and things like that. And then we had players. We saw Kevin Love donate, I think it was 100,000, 50 or 100,000. Zion Williamson donated money, and I'm sure there's more. But I just kind of wanted to hear your opinion on like how you think everyone's handling it. We'll start with you this time, Mike.
I think everybody's handling it well. I mean, people have donated money. It's a pandemic that's going on across the United States. Everybody's helping out. The NBA, outside of, the rivalries and the basketball we like to see, they like to promote, they're a family and they treat everybody as such. So they're helping out any way they can. Players are chipping in. More owners, I think, should chip in and help out, and they're providing for those people who work on those part-time jobs and work to keep those arenas going and helping that money come in. So I think as a whole, the NBA has responded really well to it.
What about you, Stacey?
I love how players are donating and stepping up and, taking care of people that work in the arenas, because those are the people we cannot forget about. Those people who make sure that we enjoy an NBA experience, that we enjoy the games, and we can't forget about them. Got to take care of them. The one thing I would say is I wish, and I haven't heard anything personally, but I wish that more owners like Mark Cuban would step up to the plate. It can't just be on the players. These owners, they the owner of a whole franchise. They got billions of dollars, and they can chip in too and help out. So I don't think like the whole thing should be on the players, but I'm glad there are players in the NBA, and there are some executives in the NBA like Mark Cuban that really cares about the fans, that cares about the people, and they stepping up. So I think it's a beautiful thing in the midst of this whole pandemic.
I'm glad you brought that up. That's been my big thing throughout all this, is the fact that, Zion Williamson's a rookie, and the fact that he's the one paying for all these wages, like, it should be the owners, in my opinion. Good on the players for like, stepping up. That's a huge thing to do, and especially only on your rookie contract. That's amazing to me. But like you said, it should be on the owners to do that. And, we see owners league-wide are starting to do it, and kind of shame on the ones that haven't yet, in my opinion. Ben, what about you?
Yeah, no, I agree with all of that. Zion paying is, I think, really telling of his character. For him to be 19 and dishing money out of his like rookie contract, this is the first time he's like tasted money like that, and for him to be giving it away for a better cause is I think really impressive. One thing I will say, I think first of all the league is handling it really well. Individual players, organizations in general are all handling it really well. But I'm not sure how responsible it is for entire organizations to be testing like staff members, players, coaches. Because the way it is here, if you're not showing symptoms, they're not going to test you because they have a limited number of tests. So for people who aren't showing symptoms, and like they're testing entire organizations, and I think those could all of those tests could probably be better utilized, which I think is why a certain NBA franchise, I don't remember which one it is, refused to get tested. Like just like their whole organization in general, everyone's getting tested. But this one particular organization refused tests just because they know that those could go to more needing people.
Yeah, that's crazy. I didn't even know about that. But yeah, that's the same thing here. I mean, people only get tested if they're showing symptoms. So that's something that me and my friends are talking about, is like, why are all these NBA teams getting tested? Like, they can just self-quarantine, and especially if they're not showing any symptoms. So yeah, definitely a good point. But one thing I wanted to bring up, which isn't on our notes or agenda or whatever, did you guys see that Adam Silver was talking about having a charity game during the hiatus, and he wanted to like bring a bunch of players together that have been tested and are clear to like come and play a game so they can like live stream it for charity. I wanted to hear your thoughts on that. It doesn't matter the order. Mike, we'll start with you.
I didn't hear about that until just now, but I mean, I like that. Give everybody something to watch. Why not? As long as they're cleared and everybody's cleared who's in an arena, I'm good with it. I think it's a great idea.
Stacey?
Yeah, as long as they can keep it safe for the players and whoever's going to be in wherever they're going to play, then I'm all for it. I think it's a nice distraction for everybody. Bring everybody together TV so they can take their minds off of it for a few hours at least, and we'll have this in front of us. So I like the idea, as long as everybody be safe, though.
Yeah, that's my big thing. Like, I would just worry that, they'll come into contact with someone on the way into the arena or something like that, So there's a lot of precautions they'd have to take. But, Ben, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, just like you said, like my only worry would be them, like, on their way there, getting, like, contracting something and coming into contact with someone, but honestly, the chances of that happening are pretty low. So I think if they can keep it generally contained, I think it would, first of all, like Stacey said, take people's minds off this whole situation maybe, bring back basketball that we all love to watch, bring a little joy to people, but then at the same time raise some money for a good cause.
Yeah, it's definitely a big risk, but if they can find a way to do it safely, I agree. It could bring some morale back for some people. But moving forward, I mean, obviously the league is suspended until further notice. There's no definite, return date. We don't really know when it's coming back. But the big question is, like, what is next when the league comes back? And I think part of it depends on when it actually does start resuming play again. The question is, like, how is it all going to end? Is it going to go straight to playoffs? Will they finish off the season with however many games they had left? Will they do a condensed version of it? There are, like, endless options here of how they could end the season out. I'm curious on, how you think it will play out, and curious of, what you would like to see happen, if that makes sense. So I'll start with you this time, Stacey.
If they come back, go straight to the playoffs. Just go to straight to the playoffs. I believe the NBA regular season was just had one more month in it, and we already know who's going to be the playoff teams and who's eliminated. Don't waste any more time. Just go straight to the playoffs. Make sure the players are ready, because I was ready for the playoffs. I was gearing up for it. So if they do continue the NBA season, just go straight to the playoffs. Fanfare just gonna come in. It's gonna be excitement all over. Let's not waste any time. Get the season over with, because I'm pretty sure they're gonna have to reschedule free agency and the draft and everything. So let's just go straight to the playoffs.
Okay, Ben, what about you?
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, at this point, I don't want to waste any time. I don't need the season being extended into, like, fall even, which could push the start of the season back, which, I mean, we're already talking about, but I don't want that to be a permanent thing for me. So hopefully, like, after this next year, we can just get things settled. But I don't know. I mean, I guess, yeah, it makes the most sense to go straight to the playoffs. If I was a team like the Pelicans or the Blazers, I'd be pretty pissed. But if I was the Grizzlies, I'd be pretty happy about it. It just makes the most sense, I feel like, to go straight to the playoffs. Just in terms of fans, what they want to see. They just want to see playoff matchups. It's been too long. I don't want to, push the season back. So I think go straight to the playoffs.
Mike?
Yeah, I think we're all in agreement. Let's skip the rest of the regular season. I'm good with that. Let's get straight to the playoffs, what everybody wants to see. Everybody's rested now. Everybody should be ready to go. All these teams are rent. Let's just get to the playoffs. I want to get to the playoffs, so especially, like you said, Ben, we don't push next season even further down the line. I want to get that timeline back on where it was. So let's get straight to the playoffs. Let's get straight to the business. That's what I'm ready for.
Now I'm just gonna seem stupid. I don't think it should go right into the playoffs. I want like a condensed season, so maybe like a week or two more games, and not because like of the seeding or anything like that. Even though as a Celtics fan, I would hate the current seeding, but give the players a chance to kind of adjust and adapt again. They may be out here for months without playing a game, and then to just hop right into playoffs, that's not really fair to anyone. It's not fair to the players. It's not fair to the fans, because they're not going to get a true matchup of what it should be. So I feel like if you let them play a few games first, it kind of gets them back into the rhythm of things, gets them back into, a competing form. Obviously, what's the word I'm looking for? Not morale, but like when you win, you play better. You're on a hot streak, you always just play better. So like give the teams a chance to like get back to where they were. If they're on a roll, let them get back to that. I feel like it's not fair to anyone to just jump straight into the playoffs. I feel like it kind of takes an edge away from some teams that perform well. Yeah, that's my thought on that. And then the other thing we have to think of is if it goes straight into the playoffs. Have you guys looked at all at what the current matchups would be?
Yeah, I'm good.
I know the Celtics are playing the Sixers.
Yeah, I'm not good, guys. Like,
I'm real happy about that.
I want a few more games, man. I don't want to play the Sixers first round. I mean, I think we'd take them, but that's not a matchup I want first round.
What if they play like a week or two and they still play the Sixers anyway? Like,
he wants to take that chance.
But at least it's that chance, Man, I don't want to play the Sixers first round, man.
I mean, honestly, you're straight. It seems like Ben Simmons won't come back even if the season comes back a bit later. So
I'm taking Celtics in 5 in the matchup. I'm just gonna throw that out there right now. Celtics in 5.
I would actually take the Celtics in that matchup.
Yeah, Celtics in 5. I'm gonna take that.
Oh, I'm taking Celtics in 7.
Oh man, don't do me like that.
I would give the Celtics a bit more time.
No one wants to go 7.
You're talking about 7 without Ben Simmons, though. 7
without Ben Simmons, that's fair. But who's really guarding Joel Embiid on the Celtics?
That's the only thing.
We want to go at that. Who's guarding Jason Tatum?
I mean, that's why you're winning 7. Yeah. But it's gonna go 7.
I don't want it to go 7, guys. I don't want it to go 7. Give me like the Pacers first round. I'd like that. I want that.
I've got the Nets first round. I'm real happy about that. I'll take it.
Yeah, see, like that's a good thing for you. But that leads me
matchup for y'all.
This leads me right into my next one. That's like a perfect bridge over. Is like obviously, as time goes by of not playing, injured players have a better timeline to return. So obviously, some of the key injured guys, we have KD, Kyrie, Steph, who already came back from injury, and Klay Thompson. If they come back, does that change things? Obviously, as a Raptors fan, I'm gonna look at you, Ben. Like you said, you were about to play the Nets. If Kyrie and KD are back,
it's terrifying.
That's a whole new ball game, right?
It's terrifying, yeah. No, it would be really scary. I don't think either of them are going to come back or should come back. I mean, it obviously depends how far it gets pushed, but if it's just to like start the season again in like late May, June, something like that, I don't think KD at the very least KD should not come back. If Kyrie comes back, that's something else. But the severity of KD's injury, I just think he should take as much time off as he can and just take the whole season off. So.
Okay. I'm curious. Do you guys think that KD or Kyrie would come back as time goes on?
I don't think so. I don't think KD needs to rush back. I think he needs to take his time. I don't think Kyrie needs to rush back because they still want to make moves. I'm sure they were planning on making moves during this offseason, getting this team right. There's really no chemistry really built with them because they were. I was about to say they were looking better without Kyrie. They were looking better without Kyrie, so you have to still figure that out. Plus, you add KD in. So I don't think they would rush back for that. I would still, even if they came back, I would pick Toronto to beat them because Toronto's a team. They're a well-coached team. Right. That'd be the type of team they would lose to in the playoffs without, building any chemistry yet. Next year, though, I'll definitely Nets. Easy.
It's a force.
Yeah, because Kyrie will probably be traded and the team will actually be able to build chemistry.
I was gonna say the same thing like Mike said. Even if KD and Kyrie come back, and we go straight to the playoffs, I would still pick Toronto because they got that team, they got that continuity, they got chemistry. We haven't seen KD and Kyrie at the same time, so we don't know what we're gonna get. And even with just Kyrie, I would still pick the Toronto Raptors to win because now I don't even trust Kyrie no more.
Thank you. Let's make a fan club. We'll make it official. Get you to sign that contract.
He can ball out, but as far as carrying the team deep.
He can barely carry himself. All right. So let's move on from there. Let's say that, the season's over. We're going straight into the playoffs. That means it's time for regular season NBA awards. So obviously we have MVP, Most Improved, Rookie of the Year, Sixth Man of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, and Coach of the Year. Let's give out some awards tonight, boys. Obviously the most important one, MVP. In my opinion, I feel like this is a no-brainer, but I've heard crazier thoughts. Mike, who's your MVP?
Well, I know everyone thinks this should be a no-brainer. And I promise you.
I know which way you're going.
And I promise you, this is not because I'm a Laker fan. Okay, I promise you that. But the MVP, in my opinion, I'm giving it to LeBron James. I'm giving it to LeBron James. Yeah. Not only is he leading the league in assists, before the season started, the Lakers were predicted to be the 4th, 5th seed? That's kind of where they were predicting them early. They figured we were going to have a lot of injuries. Now you look at this roster, first place in the West, about 6 games ahead of the Clippers we were when he left off. LeBron James playing point guard this year. Yeah, I get it. He's pretty much played that his whole career, but this is an actual switch. This team is second in offense when he's on the court. They're 30th or I believe 29th when he's off the court. So it just shows how important he's been to this team. To be leading the league in assists at this age, I know everyone wants to throw out the age thing, but I mean, it is what it is. He's played a lot of basketball. He's still able to dominate. And this is a different LeBron James than what I saw in LA last year. Because after last year, I was, he was settling for a lot of jumper threes. But this year, we've actually seen him attack the paint, do what he does best, and lead this team. So I'm going to go with LeBron James. I know Giannis may have the stats outside of assists for everything else, but the Bucks were predicted to be first in the East. We pretty much saw that coming. We knew they were going to be this. We know he's the only real superstar there, even though they have Middleton. We knew his stats were going to be there. This was their story last year. So if we had to look at it like that, I'm going to go with LeBron James.
So genuine question for you here. Doesn't AD have winning the stat category? Is it for everything except for assists right now?
Yeah, he is winning the stat category. But again, LeBron James on the court, second in offense. LeBron James off the court. That's what AD on the court. I mean, I'm watching these games. I see AD. He's great. But right now, he's a great complementary superstar. And LeBron James is the head superstar when it comes to that. It's just clear as day. The offense runs through LeBron. Even when AD's on the court and LeBron's off, it just always looks messed up. That's why we're still looking for another playmaker. So, yes, he leads in the stats because he's a 6'10" freak, and I get it. He's nice, but
who's stopping him?
Yeah, exactly. Ain't nobody stopping him. But when you got LeBron James setting you up, it's almost impossible.
Okay, Stacey, who's the MVP?
Can I have co-MVPs? Because I'm going back and forth between.
All right, give us your
Giannis,
two. Give us your two.
Yeah, I'm going back and forth between Giannis and LeBron. Giannis and LeBron.
Let's talk it out real quick. Let's talk it out. I'll help you.
All right. When, like Mike said, when LeBron's not there, when he's off the court, the Lakers look different. They don't look terrible, but, they don't have that same bounce. And LeBron at 35, just amazing. I mean, he's playing like he's 25 right now. He's rejuvenated. He's proven all the doubters wrong, saying he was aging. This is start of his decline, and he's been amazing. I said he was going to average a double-double this season, and he was doing it. But Giannis, you take Giannis off the team, and we seen that. The Bucks are terrible. And he putting up better stats in compared to his MVP season last season, all that. And the Bucks, I believe they had the best record in the NBA with Giannis at the helm. So I'm going back and forth between the two. I want to pick LeBron because of what everybody was saying, but to be fair, Giannis deserves the MVP. And I think he's getting pushed down in the conversation a little bit just because he won it already. And like Mike said, the Bucks were predicted to be at the top of the East. So I'm going back and forth between those two.
All right, let me ask you this question, all right? So MVP, most valuable player, comes down to the word value. Which player brings the most value? All right.
See, both of them,
so
that's why I'm having issues.
Let me ask you this, though. You take LeBron out of the Lakers. Where are the Lakers finishing?
Wherever the Pelicans,
like you said, they're still a good team, right? They're still a good team, right?
Yeah,
the Los Angeles Pelicans.
Well, we'll say 5, 6 seed? 5th, 6th, somewhere around there?
5, 6, 5 through 8, somewhere like that.
Yeah, okay, so we'll go around there. You take Giannis out of Milwaukee. Where are the Bucks finishing?
At best, 8.
Exactly.
7, 8.
So, with that, I think you just answered it. Which player brings more value?
I think you just oversold the Lakers without LeBron. 5, 6, Hey, we just see AD by himself. He got 8, luckily, one time. That was about it. And he had Drew Holiday in his prime. He had Rondo, a younger Rondo. I don't know about 5 or 6 in the West. I don't know about that.
Oh, man.
Mike
all
makes
I'm
a good point,
saying
though.
is,
That is the Los Angeles Pelicans if you take LeBron off.
all I'm saying is if you take Giannis out of Milwaukee and you take LeBron out of the Lakers would destroy the Bucks.
I agree with that. I would agree with that.
Like, who else is on Milwaukee? Like,
I mean,
Chris
Middleton or Bledsoe.
yo, catch me sleeping.
Middleton, Brook Lopez. I mean, they still got a team.
Oh, no, man. Nah. So, yeah, now you guys know who I picked for MVP. It's Giannis. Like, no doubt in my mind. Ben, finish us off. Who's your MVP?
See, it is tough. It is harder than a lot of people think because the value, first of all, like Mike made a really good point, the value that LeBron brings to the Lakers is extreme. He uses AD to the best of his ability. He brings everything out of AD just because he's another force on there that people have to watch. And then, you don't pay as much attention to AD. He's, like Mike said, he's 6'10". He's a freak. He can shoot. He can dribble. He can do whatever he wants on the court. But LeBron kind of opens it up for him to be able to do stuff like that. And when he's not there, they're literally, I'm going to steal this. I'm going to start saying this now. They're the Los Angeles Pelicans. They're like that 8 seed who one time with Boogie made it to the first round of the playoffs and got swept by did they sweep the Blazers?
They swept the Blazers and then they lost to Golden State, I think.
Yeah, they lost. But no, for me, it's tough because of all that LeBron's done, but I don't know. For me, and I think the Lakers are scarier in the playoffs with LeBron, but this only factors in regular season. I'm not scared of the Bucks in the playoffs, but this only factors in regular season. It doesn't factor age, which would be another factor that's very impressive towards what LeBron's been doing. I have to give it to Giannis. His stats are better. And he is really, really valuable to that team. Like, he's been out for the past few games for them, and they've been having close calls with the Cavs, and they've been losing to other, better teams in the East, so by a pretty wide margin. So I feel like Giannis brings more value to his team, but it's close. It's definitely close.
So if you have to pick.
Oh, Giannis Antetokounmpo, yeah.
Giannis, okay. Stacey, I don't know if you gave us a definitive answer.
I'm going to give the slightest edge you can think of to Giannis. We'll give it to Giannis.
Yeah. Yes, Stacey. That's what I like to hear.
I got you, Bron. It's all right, man. It's all right. I got you.
I'm sorry, LeBron.
He's like, no, you're real friends. All right. Moving on from MVP. Next up, we got the most improved player. This one is going to be interesting. There are a good amount of people I could put up for this award and be comfortable with. We're going to start with you this time, Ben.
Pascal
Siakam. Most
Siakam.
improved player. Pascal Siakam.
No, I'm kidding. To me,
that's
I
not
feel
one of the guys that I would have been okay with.
I feel like, to me, it's between, and like you said, there are a lot of, worthy names there. Even, I feel like Luka could even be in contention. Like, Fred VanVleet could be in contention. Trae Young could be in contention. But to me, I feel like it has to kind of be between Brandon Ingram and Devontae Graham. Brandon Ingram made the leap to an all-star this year. That change in scenery was definitely really good for him. He's stepping up to lead that young Pelicans team. And it's a bit different now, with Zion there, who's been having a great rookie campaign, as short as it was. But I feel like you have to give it to Devontae Graham here just because, if you look at Devontae Graham's stats from last season to this season, his rookie season to, his sophomore campaign, 4.7 points in 14 minutes per game to 18 points, 18.2 points in 35 minutes per game, 7.5 assists to go along with it. He's just been, obviously his team is not that good. Brandon Ingram kind of has the Pelicans more in a playoff conversation than Devontae Graham does the Hornets. But that jump from less than 5 points per game to just about 20, I feel like, and the role that he's taken, kind of the clutchness even that he's shown, I feel like to me you have to give it to Devontae Graham, as close as it might be.
Okay. Stacey, what about you?
I was going to give it to, and I like Devontae Graham, but I was going to give it to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
Ooh, that's a name I didn't say. Yeah.
I was going to give it to him. From 10 points, around 10 points per game to close to 20. He's now playing 35 minutes per game versus 26 when he was with the Clippers. And also, I factored in winning. Like the Thunder are the most surprising team in the NBA. I think they were like fourth, fifth in the Western Conference, and he was he's a big reason for that. And he looks better. He looks good. I guess all he needed was his opportunity to shine. He didn't really get that with the Clippers. Now he got that with the Thunder, and he got them right in the thick of things. So I'm going with SGA.
Okay, I can respect that. That wasn't on my radar, but like you just gave a good argument for it, so I can accept that. Mike, what about you? Who's your most improved?
Like you guys said, it's a lot of people to consider for this, but I'm gonna go with the former Laker. I'm gonna go with Brandon Ingram. Just seeing where he's come from last year to now, just even watching him when he was playing with the Lakers last year. Yes, I get it. He was playing with LeBron, but he didn't seem to have this confidence that he has in New Orleans. He's a lot more efficient this year. He's creating for others. He's been pretty much a do-it-all guard / forward for the Pelicans this whole year while they've been dealing with injuries. So I'm going to go with Brandon Ingram. He went from a trade piece that you move, all of a sudden now he's an all-star the next year. So it was hard for me to pick. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has been great too. Shout out to Bam Adebayo at the Heat. He's been really good this year, another all-star. So it was tough, but I'm going to go with Brandon Ingram. He definitely looks like someone you can build a team around now and a franchise player ultimately coming up.
Yeah, I mean, those are all really good answers from all of you guys, actually. Like, Bam Adebayo, that was a name I'm surprised. I think I only heard Mike say. I thought that was going to be talked about more. But my person hasn't even been said yet, which I was surprised about. Jason Tatum.
Jason Tatum.
This man became a superstar this year. And bias aside, I know when I say that, I know when Mike says that, I was like, yeah, okay, yeah, sure, bias aside, right? No, but like I mean it. Like if you look at his stats and just like watch him play, like last year he was averaging 15 points a game. This year he's averaging just under 24. And all of his other stats have gone up too. He's averaging 7 rebounds, 3 assists, 1.5 steals, and a block. Like this dude's a menace. And like if you watch him play, if you watch him play last year and then you watch him play this year, he's on a whole nother level. Just like his mentality going forth, he's so much more attacking minded. Like I don't know how to put that into words, I guess, but like he is not afraid of anything. He takes those clutch shots. He's not afraid to drive to the basket and get contact. This dude became a superstar this year.
His confidence.
So, yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. Like a whole nother level. He became an all-star this year as well. It's really fun watching him. As a Celtics fan, like prior to where we are now, we really didn't have, after 2008, we kind of struggled with a rebuild. Like we were watching guys like Isaiah Thomas before he became insane. We had Jeff Green, Avery Bradley, Kelly Olynyk. Like that was our team right there, right? So we didn't really have much. And then, now watching this, I feel like I'm watching history in a way. Like I'm watching someone who came out as a rookie 2 years ago, who's in his third year now. I'm watching him become a superstar, and that's really fun to see. It's really cool to see. So like that's definitely my most improved player. I feel like he's come so far this season, and I hate doing this. I honestly, do I want to go there? I feel like Kyrie was part of the problem. I really do. I feel like now.
No.
You don't think so? I feel like now he has so much more of a chance to like shine, and Kemba is much more of like a pass-first minded guard. He's not afraid to give up the rock. He's not afraid to have someone on his team that's better than him. And I feel like he's kind of even passed the torch to Tatum in a way. No, I would definitely say Tatum is most improved this year for me. But like anyone that's been mentioned so far, I am fine with winning. Like this has been such a good year for the NBA in terms of, people just becoming better, and it's kind of cool. I feel like year after year, it's been either very obvious who it was or it was like, who even cares? But like this year, it's a pretty good competition to see who's going to win. So I'm excited to see that. Next up, we have Rookie of the Year. This is going to get interesting. This is going to be interesting, all right? Yeah, I guess we'll start with you this time, Mike.
My Rookie of the Year, slow and steady. I'm going to go with Ja Morant. His team would currently be in the playoffs right now. He's playing point guard in the NBA. You know, that's the hardest position in the NBA. And to be playing it with such a swagger, a confidence that he does. I remember when they was playing the Rockets and he was going back and forth with Harden. You know, when he hit the step back on him, he was like, "Oh, tell him to guard me." You know what I'm saying? Like, I like that. You know, I like rookies that aren't scared to go at it and they can back up the talk. I remember he shook somebody on the Clippers. I think it was Shamet. And he just looked at him before he hit the three. So that I like that. Ja Morant's been consistent this year. He shares the ball. He's not a selfish player at all, and he could score at a high rate. He probably has like the best almost posters this year so far, like when he almost blessed Kevin Love. So I mean,
oh my God, yeah, that was
yeah, it was crazy, man. So I'm gonna go with Ja Morant. Zion has been amazing. He's been everything is advertised so far. But he hasn't played enough games, and especially with the season being cut short, you really can't give him the award at this point. So I'm going to go with Ja.
All right, 2 follow-up questions for you, just because you mentioned one specific thing. One, Part 1 of this question. So if the season played out the rest of the games, the season finished regularly, Zion was putting up the same numbers throughout, would you have a different answer?
My answer would be predicated on who made the playoffs. Because the Pelicans aren't far behind the Grizzlies. They can still make that spot. And I believe they said the Grizzlies had the hardest schedule the rest of the way, and the Pelicans had the easiest. So seeing how that kind of ended would definitely sway my vote.
Okay, that kind of answered my next one. I was going to say, if Zion had played all season and did the same numbers, would it still be based on who made the playoffs, if in the same situation?
Yeah, who made the playoffs.
Okay. To me, this is just interesting to me because it reminds me of last year's race between Luka and Trae Young, a little bit in that kind of sense. Stacey, what about you? Who's your Rookie of the Year?
In the beginning, I said Ja Morant. In the middle, I said Ja Morant. And I still say Ja Morant. We've been putting up the stats. Grizzlies are winning. Not only they winning, but he's uplifted and changed or brought back that culture in Memphis, that grindhouse, that we could play with anybody, that mentality, that confidence, and he got it. Now, I will say this. He do need to finish those dunks. Come on, man. Finish those dunks. You can't be missing those dunks. We can't be giving him all these props for these almost posters. You got to finish those, man. But he's been amazing, lights out. And Zion, he's been playing as advertised, very good. They was getting ready to probably overtake the Grizzlies for the playoffs, but it's about the whole season, and Ja Morant been there the whole season. So I was gonna stick with Ja Morant either way. So that's my Rookie of the Year.
Ben, what about you?
Yeah, no, I feel like especially with the season being cut short, you don't really have a choice but to give it to Ja Morant. Zion played 20, 25 games,
if that.
I don't think you can, in good conscience, give Zion Williamson Rookie of the Year after playing like barely a quarter of the season. But he did put together a really, really impressive stretch there when he was healthy. And I remember I don't know who it was, but a certain member of this podcast was saying something about him being a bust. I can't recall entirely, but yeah, there it was.
Yeah, I screwed up with that one.
But no, like Zion was a lot of fun to watch, shooting some like in the high 50s from the field, which was very, very impressive. But then if you look on the flip side of that, Ja Morant was shooting just under 50% from the field, which as a guard who's taking more outside shots and has more like tougher contested shots at the rim, with him being smaller, I think it's very, very impressive for him to be shooting almost 50%. Like you guys said, he was in playoff contention when the season got shut down. He was, more of a leader of his team than I feel like Zion was. I feel like, Brandon Ingram kind of has that spot and Drew Holiday kind of has that spot for the Pelicans. But on the Grizzlies, it's like even kind of older vets are all conceding to Ja as like the leader of that team, which says a lot about him, I feel like. But just in general, his season has been really, really impressive. and Ja Morant is my Rookie of the Year, regardless of whether Zion had played the whole season or if they had made the playoffs. I think Ja would have had to be my Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, I'll agree with all you guys. I mean, it's definitely Ja Morant to me. Zion didn't play enough. He didn't, if he played all 82 games and was able to keep those stats, maybe we'd have a different conversation here than we do. But that's not how the dice rolled. Ja Morant's definitely the Rookie of the Year. He reminds me of a young Vince Carter, and you guys all know Vince Carter is my all-time favorite player. So, yeah, I think hands down it's gonna be him. I don't think there's a debate anymore because the season got cut short. If the season played out the rest of the way as if it was supposed to, and Zion kept doing what he was doing, maybe. I think what Mike said is really the truth. Is it turns out to, who would have made the playoffs in that situation? Because if Zion was able to come in and literally turn that season around and bring them to the playoffs, that's extraordinary. So yeah, but unfortunately that's how it played out. We didn't get to see Zion enough. He only played 19 games. I just checked. So sad, but who knows? Next topic is Sixth Man of the Year. We'll start with you this time, Stacey. Who is your Sixth Man of the Year?
Sixth Man of the Year. I'm rolling with Montrezl Harrell of the Clippers. Over 18 points per game, shooting well over 50%, and he has some monster games here and there for the Clippers. I think he's one of the reasons why the Clippers stayed afloat at the top. Without his energy, and you couple that with the struggles they was having, who knows where the Clippers would be right now. So I'm going with Montrezl Harrell.
Okay. Ben, what about you?
It's a Clipper. I don't know. I feel like Montrezl Harrell has put together a really impressive season. He and Lou Will, for me, are just like head-to-head. Even if you look at their stats, they're very, very similar. They've been providing a similar boost off the bench for their team. They both really could be starting. Their stats are pretty similar. Obviously, Montrez has a much, much higher field goal percentage. To me, I think you have to give it to Montrezl Harrell just because of what he provides for that team as a big man and what he has to do. He has to, like, Lou Williams does not have to guard Anthony Davis. Montrezl Harrell, I just think, is a more important piece for them when it comes to, like I said, like guarding people like Anthony Davis. But Lou Will on the offensive side, I think, is more important. I have to give it to Montrezl Harrell, like Stacey.
Mike, what about you?
All right, so I'm going to be the different guy this time. I'm going to go with Dennis Schroeder out of OKC this year. I'm going to go with him. So, like, the Thunder kind of run the same little, like, three-guard set the Nets used to run with D'Angelo Russell, LeVert, and Dinwiddie. Except at OKC, this is that done almost perfectly. As you can see, they're in the playoffs. Dennis Schroeder's been a big part of that. He's averaging 19 points a game off the bench. He could be, he could win Sixth Man of the Year. He's shooting 38% from three this year, which is very good for them. He's been steady off the bench. He comes in, provides that spark for them. Chris Paul, he's getting up there. He's been playing great this year, but sometimes on those games, you got to remember he's still an older player. Dennis Schroeder comes in and helps carry the load with SGA. So I'm going to go with Dennis Schroeder. I think he's been great for the Thunder this year. I was hoping the Lakers traded for him, but they let me down.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with you, Mike. Dennis Schroeder for sure. I don't really want to go too much on. You pretty much just said everything I needed to say. Yeah, I feel like it's too easy to go with the Clippers, guys. I feel like their team is just so loaded that, like, you look at the current betting odds right now, the two favorite guys are Lou Williams and Montrezl Harrell. Mm-hmm. So it's like I just don't want to pick the Clippers guys because, like, it's too easy. You got to have some fun with it. So no, I'll go with you, Mike. I like Dennis Schroeder as well. Huge pickup from last year, and obviously he's seeing less minutes than what he's used to. Think about a couple seasons ago when he was in Atlanta. He was a starter for 2 seasons pretty much all year long, and now he's only started 1 game this entire season. So to see him kind of readjust his game and be able to do that, I think it's pretty incredible. So I'm definitely fine with giving him Sixth Man of the Year. Moving on from that, though, we have the Defensive Player of the Year. We'll start with you this time, Ben. Who's your Defensive Player of the Year?
I want to mention 2 guys. First of all, Ben Simmons had a really, really good defensive season. for him to be like a 6'9", 6'10" point guard, he can guard really positions from 1 to like 4, even 5 sometimes if he has to. He's like a strong defender. He can like steal the ball well. But I have to give it to Anthony Davis. He's a big presence inside for the Lakers. He's routinely shutting down opposing centers, like on a night-to-night basis. Bigger guys, better centers. He can like routinely, regularly shut down centers from the other teams that they play. He's a really important piece for them defensively. His length is kind of unfair, especially from a defensive standpoint around the rim. So I have to give it to Anthony Davis.
All right, Stacey, what about you?
Same thing for me, Anthony Davis. His defensive prowess is the reason why LeBron can do what he does. He covers a lot of ground defensively. 1.5 steals a game, well over 2 blocks per game. He's up there towards the top. Close to 10 rebounds. Now I'm kind of disappointed his rebound numbers are a little low, but anyway, he's a great defensive player, and it's about time that he get his shine defensively because, you know, he was with the Pelicans. He didn't get much press about that. So I'm going with Anthony Davis too.
Okay. I don't even need to say anything. Mike, bring us home.
Well, you know, I ain't want to bust up the party or nothing, so I'm going to go with AD. I mean, y'all have already said it. Could guard center, shut down center. He's got game-winning blocks this year, great defensive possessions. He can switch out on wings. He can switch out on guards. His defensive intensity, like, he's brought a lot to the Lakers. You know what I'm saying? I know we talked about LeBron earlier being the most important player, but leading the charge, AD, the way he does defensively has gotten other guys to buy in. He's just one of the best defensive players in the league. I feel bad for not wanting to trade for him because I remember I was like, I'm not trading 4 players for one dude. But every time we play the Pelicans, like, you see exactly why you do that trade 7 days out of the week. Even, like, I think we played the Pelicans last time, and all the people we traded had a good game. Lonzo had a good game. Josh Hart had a good game. Brandon Ingram had 20+. And then you just look at AD with 45 and 15 and 3 blocks and 2 steals, and you win easily by 15. You're just like, all right. So, yeah, I'm going with AD, man.
Yeah, there's no arguments there. So we'll just move right on to Coach of the Year. Ben, I'm going to save you for last on this one. Stacey, who's your Coach of the Year?
I think it's easy to pick Frank Vogel and Mike Budenholzer, but I'm going with Nick Nurse. I'm going with Nick Nurse just because everybody expected Toronto to fall off the face of the earth when Kawhi left, and look where they at. They right at the top of the East. They're playing lights out, and people forget that last year there was 17-5, I believe, without Kawhi. So they're a well-coached bunch, and who's the coach? Nick Nurse. He got them playing well. Fran VanVleet's doing well. Siakam doing well. Kyle Lowry. People expected Kyle Lowry to dip down, and he's still playing up there. So I'm going with Nick Nurse because he kept everything together. He got the Raptors towards the top.
Mike, what about you?
So this answer is probably going to be surprising. So I could have went with Nick Nurse. He's been great this year, but I expected the Raptors to be good. I expected them to be around this. I could have went with my boy Frankie Vogel, but I ain't want to do that. I ain't want to adhere to LA. So I'm gonna go with somebody different. I'm gonna go with Eric Spoelstra. I'm gonna tell you why. No one saw the Miami Heat being this good this year. Yes, I know they're the 4th seed. For a while, they were up there in the 3-2 range, but no one saw them being this good. No one saw Bam playing this good. No one saw Jimmy Butler coming in and making this much of a difference. This team is very good. I have home court possibly in the first round of the playoffs. I don't think anybody envisioned them being this good this early. Now, do I think they can win a championship or something like that? No, but as far as shocking people this year, they've been extremely good at home. They've gotten a good contribution from all their young players, from Tyler Herro to Duncan Robinson to Kendrick Nunn, whoever's been in the lineup, because they've had plenty of them. Spoelstra, as usual, has found a way to make it work. So I'm going to go with him for Coach of the Year.
Okay. Personally, I have to go with Nick Nurse. I mean, you know what Stacey said. I mean, losing Kawhi, you just don't expect that team to be as good. And I definitely didn't. I definitely slept on the Raptors this year. Once you lose a guy like Kawhi, who in my opinion, and obviously it was a wrong opinion last year, I thought Kawhi carried the Raptors. Seeing them play now without Kawhi, it's like a whole new team. Pascal Siakam's been great. Kyle Lowry's been great. Van Vliet has been outstanding. You definitely have to look back on the coach and kind of give him credit that he was able to like readjust his team, realign his goals, and put out a team that's winning games at the end of the day. So I definitely have to give it to Nick Nurse. Ben, close it out for us.
Yeah, I mean, I won't touch too much on things that you guys said, but one thing I do want to bring up is for Nick Nurse, what he can get out of guys that people don't expect to be good, like Terrence Davis Jr. for us, undrafted rookie. He's putting in good minutes, averaging somewhere around 8 points per game for us. So just good contribution there. And we've had a lot of injuries this year. So Marc Gasol has missed a ton of time, I think like 20-plus games. Fred VanVleet, Kyle Lowry, Pascal Siakam have all missed like 11-plus games, I believe. Ibaka's missed a lot of time as well. So we were throwing guys on the court that nobody knows the names of. We were sounding like the Golden State Warriors when you put it on, like a broadcast. And they're like, who are those guys? We had like O'Shea Brissett, Matt Thomas, Malcolm Miller in our starting lineup. Like Rondé Hollis-Jefferson was putting in really good minutes for us. So he was just able, and we were still winning games. We're the 2 seed now. So he was able to maximize, those players just in his system. And he's so smart with his defense. His players all respect him. He can switch up defensive schemes like play to play, quarter to quarter. And he's a really good offensive mind as well. So yeah, no, for me it's Nick Nurse.
It has to be, in my opinion. But no, Mike's point is valid too. Eric Spoelstra is definitely not someone I thought of. So, but you have a good point. I mean, even when they got Jimmy Butler, I didn't expect them to be this good. So I got to give him credit. I definitely did not see that coming for either of the two teams, to be honest. But Ben, let me ask you this: what's your ceiling for the Raptors this year?
Okay, so my ceiling heading into the regular season was second round ceiling, just because I feel like there's so many tough teams that we can meet in the second round. And now I'm expecting second round. I think our ceiling, and this is very ambitious of me, I think our ceiling is the finals. I don't expect us to beat anyone in the West. But me personally, the way it plays out, I'm not scared of facing the Milwaukee Bucks in a 7-game series. I'm probably the most scared of the Celtics. But at the same time, like I'm not saying like it's guaranteed the Celtics are going to sweep us in a playoff series. Like I think it could be a tough series if we are healthy and if we have time to get our guys together. So yeah, ceiling, ambitious, kind of cap, finals. Realistically, we would probably have to meet the winner of you and the Sixers in the second round probably, which would be tough, which would be scary. But if we make it out of that, I'm not all that scared of the Bucks.
Okay. I'm the same way, so I can appreciate that answer. I mean, for some reason, I just feel like Giannis isn't enough. I don't know. I'm crazy like that. I don't know.
Yeah. No, we did it last year. And
I was just debating for him to be MVP like 20 minutes ago, but whatever. No, but like I would love my dream playoff route for the Celtics to beat the Raptors at some point in the Eastern Conference and then take on the Lakers in the finals and beat them. So I can just have like ultimate bragging rights over you guys for like a whole year. It would be great. I'm hoping that happens. Mike, you still got to wear something Celtics to one of the podcasts. I just remembered that.
I haven't forgot.
We'll get that on the next one maybe. It depends because you probably can't leave your house either.
Right.
But moving on from that, I know it's like, what are you gonna do? Moving on from that, like we were just saying, can't leave the house. There's nothing for you to really do. There's no NBA, so what are you gonna do? You got to stay busy, right? So let's talk about basketball movies. What are some of the best basketball movies that you guys can watch or have watched already throughout this break? I know I've already watched a couple. For someone that like may not know movies too well, what are some of the must NBA movies or basketball movies that you have to watch? And we'll go around the room. Mike, I'll start with you. What are some of your like go-to basketball movies?
So instantly you gotta watch Space Jam. You have, if you're a fan of the NBA, you've seen Space Jam. If you have not seen Space Jam, I don't know what's wrong with you, but you need to see Space Jam. Another NBA movie, me personally, I'm a big fan of Glory Road. It's a great basketball movie. It's excellent. It's about Don Haskins, first all-starting black lineup in NCAA history. UTEP, they were known as Texas Miners back then. You have to watch that. You gotta watch He Got Game, Jesus Shuttlesworth, Ray Allen. You have to watch these. Those are my 3 movies that I say you have to start out. So you watch Space Jam for sure. You watch Glory Road. And you watch He Got Game. Love and Basketball. I mean, we could do this all night. Love and Basketball. You gotta watch that. I mean, Celtic Pride. You gotta watch that. That's a great movie. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna give y'all some movies to name, but it's plenty. It's plenty.
So I gotta combat one of those. He Got Game. I did not enjoy.
You didn't like He Got Game?
No, man. I felt like there were so many periods of it that I was just like so cringy. Ray Allen, Jesus Shuttlesworth. The dude's not an actor, and it showed. Like, there were some moments it was just like, dude, what are you doing?
Hey, it ain't about that. You just gotta watch it.
Oh man, but yeah, no, I get where you're coming from. It was definitely interesting. Stacey, what about you?
I'm not a huge movie guy, but 2 basketball movies I would say definitely Space Jam. If you haven't watched Space Jam yet, something is wrong with you, like Mike said. You gotta watch Space Jam. Great kids movie too. Great kids movie for the kids. I get on my kids' school that haven't watched Space Jam. Like, something's wrong with you. You need to watch Space Jam. Matter of fact, we're gonna play it today. But and also Coach Carter.
Yeah, definitely.
And also Coach Carter. Can't forget Coach Carter.
All right, Ben. What about you?
Move with life lesson.
Yeah. Okay, I gotta agree with one of Stacey's picks, one of Mike's picks. Glory Road was really good, really powerful movie. I feel like they definitely kind of like made it kind of Hollywood. It's not, they embellished a little bit, but it was a lot of fun to watch. And I don't really concern myself with things like that based on a true story, which is always cool. And then Coach Carter, Stacey already brought it up, also based on a true story, also a very powerful movie. That's not really embellished or Hollywooded up. I guess you don't really expect that kind of ending if it's a movie, if it's a Hollywood movie. But it was a really good movie to watch. And the basketball is good too. Like, it's actually realistic high school basketball. Channing Tatum's in it. I didn't know Channing Tatum could hoop like that, but you learn something new every day. And then the last one is White Men Can't Jump. Woody Harrelson, Wesley Snipes. The basketball is not bad in that either. It's a classic. And in the end, I don't want to spoil it, but Woody Harrelson jumps. He dunks.
Yeah, funny story. I actually just watched that movie for the first time this past week. It's been on my list of things to watch like the longest time, so I was like, I'm just going to do it. So yeah, that made my list. Like, I feel like obviously all the big ones have been taken. I mean, like Space Jam, Coach Carter, Glory Road, even though I didn't like it, whatchamacallit, Jesus Shuttlesworth, you know what I'm talking about, He Got Game. Like, I feel like those are all like the must-watch basketball movies. Like, those are up there. And then you mentioned Celtic Pride. That one's hysterical. It's about like some crazy Celtics fans that go and kidnap the star player of the other team. It's absolutely hysterical if you hadn't seen it. I definitely recommend it. It's just...
It's probably also based on a true story.
That's me in 10 years. No, but yeah, definitely. Like Mike, that's another good one too.
Like Mike.
Yeah.
And this brings me, so I have a couple more, and I'm going to bring into a bonus one that just reminded me of. So there's also More Than a Game, which is about like LeBron James throughout high school. Yeah. It's kind of more like a documentary in a way, but that is like so good. I definitely recommend that. The Carter Effect is another one of my personal favorites. It's all about Vince Carter and how he kind of brought basketball to Toronto and kind of revolutionized the city of Toronto and Canada as a whole with basketball. So I really liked that as well. And then my bonus one, so I don't know if you guys have ever heard of it. Kevin Durant made a movie a couple of years ago. Called Thunderstruck.
Yeah.
And the whole movie was just literally stealing the plot of Like Mike and putting into this. It was the cringiest movie I have ever seen. But with that said, you need to watch it because it is so funny. Watching Kevin Durant try to do this. It is so funny. You can tell he doesn't want to be there the entire time. It is so funny.
Can I bring something up? Can they please release that Bulls documentary? Do it now.
Yeah.
Do it now. Please, right now. The Last
They
Dance.
should put it early,
Bring it out. I read that they wasn't even done with it. I was like, how can you not
Really?
be done? Yeah.
I'm kind of salty about the name, though. I feel like they should have saved that name for Dwayne Wade's documentary.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was like his big thing.
They could have done something better for MJ too.
Yeah.
Like you could have had a name more related to MJ, but
you could just call it the GOAT, like, or
exactly.
Like that.
Yeah,
like
something
simple,
like that. Giannis documentary coming out at some point too.
Really? I didn't know about that.
Yeah, it's gonna be on Disney Plus. I don't even know if they started filming for it or anything like that, but it was announced when Disney Plus first came out.
A Disney movie with Giannis. That is.
I mean, it's a documentary about his life.
Okay, I'm down for that. I'm ready for that.
No, I don't think Giannis trying to act would be the best idea.
I think that would be so funny. he just has like a good personality, so I feel like that would actually be pretty funny. Moving on from movies, though, if movies aren't your thing, right? Say like Stacey just said, he's not a big movie person. You know, basketball is your thing. You want to rewatch some basketball games. What are some of the best NBA games that someone should go rewatch? Because obviously League Pass is free right now. If you don't know about that, Adam Silver went out and said that he was going to make League Pass free so everyone could still enjoy basketball. I think it's throughout April, or was it throughout March? I don't know, but it's free for a while. Sure. Go and get it. It's free. So with that League Pass, you can pretty much watch any game you want. What are some games that people should go back and watch? Stace, we'll start with you this time. What are some like must-watch games?
Ooh, it's a lot. Do they I'm not that familiar with League Pass, but do they have like classic games playing, like games, NBA Finals and all that? So every game is there?
I don't know if every single game is there, but for this point, let's just say like, yeah, every game is there.
Okay. I'm definitely rewatching Game 7 of Golden State, Cleveland. Definitely rewatching that just to see those moments.
Finals,
again. Yeah, definitely watching that again. Some Kobe's 81, Kobe's final game. Also the series against the Nuggets in the Western Conference Finals. Just Kobe just leading his team to victory, getting into the NBA Finals. The Golden State and Utah series, Darren Williams, Baron Davis, and all them. Just watching that Golden State team, because that was an exciting time. It's a lot of games. It's a lot of games, but those are a few in particular that comes off my mind off the bat.
Mike, what about you? What are some of your must-watch games?
Must-watch games. So we're always going to start with Kobe, 60 points. Final game, you have to watch that. February 27th, 2016, Oklahoma City. And that was the one where Steph Curry hit like the 40-footer in overtime and started doing the shimmy. You have to go back and watch that game. That game kind of signified how great Steph Curry was that season. So I'm going with that one. And then Game 6, Heat, Spurs. Ray Allen hits that three in the corner to force it to overtime. I remember that game. I was in Afghanistan. I had to get up at like 4 a.m. to go watch the game, like in the cafeteria. But it was like a crowd of people. We were up watching it. That was insane. Also, a series out there for you. And Jordan, you'll like this. I forget the year, but it's the Bulls-Celtics series where the Celtics had the big three. The Bulls had a young D Rose, Ben Gordon, Joakim Noah, like Kurt Heinrich. Like every one of those games ended like with a game winner that year in the playoffs. That was like one of my favorite playoff series ever watched. Go watch it. Ben Gordon was shooting all types of crazy shots, and this was like young Joakim Noah, and like I really thought the Bulls had a chance to upset them, but the Celtics ended up pulling out. But that was a great series to watch.
Okay. Ben, what about you? What are your some must-watch games?
I feel like you got to go Raptors Sixers Game 7 for me personally.
That's a good one, yeah.
When Kawhi obviously hit the boom. Definitely, yeah. Cavs Warriors Game 7. Heat Spurs Game 6. Game 5. Whichever one it was. And then Game 6, yeah. And then I had another one in mind. Oh, yeah, the All-Star Game. If it's a possibility to watch the All-Star Game from this most recent year, I had a lot of fun watching that game. That was the best All-Star game I've ever seen in my life. So if it's possible to go back and watch that, then that one for sure. And just a bonus one that obviously it wasn't even televised, so we can't watch it. But if it was possible to watch it, and I always think about this whenever I get asked this question, is Wilt's 100-point game. If it was at all possible to find a video of that, then you got to watch that. But
yeah, that would be really cool. It sucks that like the older generations of games like weren't filmed. We can't really get to watch any of that, but that would be cool. I'm glad you brought up the All-Star game though. I also had that in mind too, the 2020 All-Star game, just because, if you don't know, the ending wasn't a stereotypical like, oh, time on the clock, just get it to expire and the game's over. It was like they had to score 24 points in honor of Kobe to win the game, and it turned out that like through the first 3 quarters the teams were like tied or like somewhat similar in score. I don't remember the specifics, so it's pretty much like first to that won. And it was really fun to watch. It was something we hadn't seen in an All-Star game before, where it was actually very competitive and guys were going all out. It was really fun to see. I also had Kobe's final game versus the Jazz, Game 7, 2016 NBA Finals. That like final 2-3 minutes of that game was insane. Like you had no idea who was going to win that the entire time. It was so much fun to watch. Other games I have, the ones that weren't taken, happened to all be Celtics games, so I apologize for that. One of them is from this year. It's Celtics Clippers. It went to double overtime. It's kind of Tatum's emergence game. He dropped 39 that game where we won in double OT. That was just an outstanding game. Marcus Smart had like a game-saving dive to put it off of Kawhi's leg so it would be their ball again. It was a crazy game. If you ever get a chance, definitely watch that. Probably one of my all-time favorite Celtics games ever. I believe it was last season or 2 seasons ago. I can't remember now. It was Celtics Rockets. It was a blowout at the beginning of the game. Celtics were getting blown out by like 20, 30 points to the point where like I stopped watching after at halftime, and then I checked my phone. Fourth quarter, it was like kind of close again, so I put it back on. And Marcus Smart got 2 charge calls against James Harden in like the final minute.
I saw that. Yeah.
It was so insane. I was like jumping up and down in my living room. Like I had never gotten so hyped over a game before. So that was just so fun to watch. I remember Chris Paul's reaction on the bench just looking like, you really let this man do this to you twice? Like he was pissed at Harden. It was so fun. That was a fun game. I also have, which I actually rewatched yesterday, Game 6 of the 2008 NBA Finals, where the Celtics absolutely destroyed the Lakers by like 40 points. It was bad. And like I was watching it towards the end of the game. My dad was in the room and we were talking.
It was a dunk contest. That's all it was.
It was insane. Like towards the end of the game, the Celtics didn't give up. Like they put their bench guys in, but like these bench guys were like
Poe were dunking
it down. Like
I was so mad.
there was like no chill. You wouldn't get away with that in today's league. Like they had no respect whatsoever. Like they were trying to run up the score. So now I get why everyone hates the Celtics. But it was like such a fun game to watch. Like how hyped the crowd got, how hyped all the fans got. Like it was in Boston. It was just such a cool game to watch. And then my bonus thing, I have the 2016 and 2020 dunk contests. Obviously 2016 we saw Levine versus Gordon, and then 2020 we saw Gordon again go up against Derrick Jones, and I don't know how that turned out. But yeah, those were some of the best dunk contests in my opinion. But yeah, if you definitely haven't yet, definitely get the League Pass. It's free. You could spend a lot of time on there. I already have. It's something that's free. Why not, right? But to end off the episode, there was a debate I saw going on Twitter. I think it was a screenshot of something on Reddit. I don't really know how to give that credit. But yeah. So you can join any NBA team. You have 82 games to score 20 total points, 10 total assists, and 5 total rebounds throughout the entire season. If you do it, you get a 5-year, $250 million contract. If you fail, you die. Would you accept this challenge? You are guaranteed at least 20 minutes a game, and none of the players know that you die if you don't achieve these goals. So basically, they're not going to take it easy on you. Would you take that challenge? Mike?
Hey, lace them up. Let's go. I'm with it. And look, I'm with it. Look, I'm not scared. I'm taking that challenge. You said 20 total points?
All
and
season,
I got 82 games?
And 5 rebounds. Yep.
I got 82 games. Come on, man. Yeah. Sign me up.
Oh, okay. And you think you do that easily?
In 82 games?
Yeah.
I don't think I'll do it easily, but I think I'll get it done in 82 games. I think I'll get it done.
What do you think would be the hardest for you to do out of those?
The hardest might be the rebounds. I'm gonna go with the rebounds. Because
rebounds. What?
I know the floor is spread, but you're dealing with the best athletes in the game. So, like, if it's not a 7-foot center, it's Russell Westbrook coming at you full speed at 6'3". So I feel like rebounds, you ain't going to get a lot of gimme rebounds. I'm going to have to wait for the right time where the ball bounce off the rim right to me. I can get 5 of those in 82. 20 points, I'm a 3-point shooter when I play. So I'm going to get 20 in 82 games. And 10 assists, these are NBA players. I'm going to get 10 assists in the span of 82 games. The rebounds, honestly, they're all pretty close. I'll say points because, I mean, it's only 5. I'll just say points. Maybe I never get an open shot. Maybe I'm not as good a shooter as I think. I'll go for it.
See, and Mike, how far back is your 3-point line at the gyms that you're playing at? Because the NBA 3-point line is a little bit further back than you might be accustomed to.
Listen. I will never boost my game and tell you I'm NBA ready. But if there's one thing that's NBA ready about me, it's the jumper. I'm not worried about the distance. Everything else, hey, look, I'm telling you, I got the distance on that thing. Watch out.
Man. All right, Stacey, are you taking this challenge?
I feel like I can beat this challenge. I feel
like
I
Stacey?
can. Yeah. In 82, you got 82 games to get just 20 points total, 10 assists, and 5 rebounds.
Yeah.
82 games. I'm taking that. Now, I would say for me, the hardest thing would be the rebounds. That'll be the hardest thing. Just because I might say you're going against athletes who just get the rebound just like that. And I'm 6'3", so I'll be, at the guard position. But you got Russell Westbrook getting the rebounds, and he can get in doubles in any night. And you got Patrick Beverly bothering me and all that stuff. But anyway, I feel like in 82 games, and I got $250 million on the line, and literally my life, I would get these. I would be motivated. I would tell the players, hey, I'm literally about to die if I don't get.
You can't. That's part of the thing. They can't know.
Oh, I can't tell them.
No pity from them.
Well, I'm still getting these. There's still $250 million on the line.
Wow.
And my life. So.
All right. I respect the hustle. Ben, are you taking this challenge?
I'm going for it, yeah.
Wow.
Listen. To me, I could get 5 gimme rebounds in 82 games, 20 minutes a game. You can get your gimmies. 5 wouldn't be the hardest part. It wouldn't be easy. But, like, every once in a while, you'll see a gimme. You know what I mean? Yeah. You get your 10 assists. Honestly, it's NBA players. Let's say I'm on the Lakers. Toss it up anywhere near the rim. AD's putting that down. I get my 10 assists. Points is going to be the hardest part. But, man, if I know the players don't know I'm going to die, I know I'm going to die. So I'm just going to be selfish as hell. Anytime I touch the ball.
Guaranteed 20 minutes. Hey.
Exactly. Anytime I touch the ball, I'm putting it up. And
the way they call the fouls, you don't think you can go to the free throw line?
There you go. Free throw line. There you go. I've got 82 games, 20 minutes a game to score 20 points. Points is going to be the hardest part for me, but I feel like I can get it done. $250 million and my life on the line, I'm going for it.
Okay. All right. This is tough for me. Like, if this was like actually presented to me in real life, oh hell no, not a chance. I'm risking that, right? I'm this little chubby guy. Like, no. Like, okay. So first off, yeah, you get all these minutes, but who the hell's passing you the ball? I mean, you see my little ass walking out into the court. Ain't no way LeBron. Ain't no way AD, Jason Tatum. No one's gonna pass me the ball, right? So like Ben said, like anytime I'm getting the ball, I'm literally just gonna huck it up. I don't care if it's from half court. I don't care if it's full court. Like it'll go in eventually, right? And then maybe I can get some pity calls from the refs, go in and try to get a layup and just get demolished. I'll flop on everything. I'll be the new Marcus Smart in that sense. Like I'll be trying to get those calls.
But it said you can join any NBA team. So I would join the team that sucks.
Oh, I'm going next.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
I'm going to a team that's terrible. I'm going to a trash team.
Sure. But like I don't know. I feel like the points and the assists would be hard. So I feel like rebounds, like the ball will bounce your direction 5 times in a season. I feel like without a doubt in my mind, like even with Mike saying like the athletic guys will come at you, like it'll have to bounce to you at least 5 times.
Yeah,
right.
And they don't come at you every single time.
Yeah,
you could get 5. You could get 5.
I feel like rebounds would be easy. Assists would be tough. Like, yeah, like I get the point. Like you just need to give it to someone to score, but like you have to have like a perfect pass in some situations. Like that ball will get stolen if you don't put like enough power on that pass. You don't do that at the right angle. I don't know, man. Like if 10 assists, like I'm hoping I can give some alley-oops and just get it out of everyone else's range. Like
that's what
I need to go to a team with like someone freakishly tall.
But you can do that. You can do that once a game, and you'll get there. Like you could get 1 assist.
Yeah,
I hope
you could get 1 assist.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, you could get 1 assist every like 5 games, and you would still be safe.
My thing is though, like, okay, the worst player in the NBA. Give me a name. Who is by far the worst player in the NBA?
I can't do that.
Because I don't know who the worst player in the NBA is.
Look, we gonna name the worst person. Idea. Then they gonna see this. Then they flying up. Then they flying here. Now I gotta play them. Now I'm getting my ass.
Now it's
I had a name in mind, man.
Say it.
Go for it.
I was gonna say, what's his name? Mike Muscala. Literally, everybody just takes a crap on this guy.
Yeah.
Everybody just take a crap on him.
Let's take Mike Muscala, right?
Shout
Mike
out
Muscala is kicking my ass. He is kicking any one of our asses. Like without a doubt in my mind, the worst player in the NBA.
He's 7 foot.
Would dominate us.
Dude,
the worst player in the league.
The worst
would
player
dominate
in
us.
AA Division III basketball, and I'm sure he would still probably dominate any single one of us.
That's what I'm saying. Like some of these guys, man. Like what it takes to get into the NBA is insane.
Yeah.
Those guys are all so skilled. And like we sit on our couches and we look and we'll say like, oh, that guy's crap. I couldn't do what he's doing if he paid me to do it. Like there's no way, right?
That's not what we're asking you to do, though. We're asking you to score 20 total points.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like you got to understand how good all of these people are. Like,
nah, I get it, but see, this is not gonna be a setting where they're just trying to go at me. This is gonna be a team setting. You got to play with them to see. A lot of guys can hoop, but a lot of guys can't play team ball. So if you're guaranteeing me 20 minutes on the court, that means I'm playing with people who actually play team ball. So the ball gonna find me if I just move in the right spot. I'm shooting that thing. All right, I'm gonna get 20 points.
And chances are, if I'm on the court with LeBron and Anthony Davis,
you're gonna get open.
Yeah, they're doubling LeBron, they're doubling AD. I'm ready to go.
And another reason why you'll get your points, I guarantee you, whoever is guarding you, no matter any of us, no matter how well we think we can shoot, they are sagging off of us because we're regular people. So you go get your opportunities. You just gotta hit them. That's it.
I just hope I don't mess up like a LeBron Lonzo assist because they gonna throw that ball. They gonna throw the ball and it's gonna be right on target. You gotta get your hands together.
Don't miss the layup.
Oh man, no pressure or anything. I'm gonna be the next Linsanity, guys.
Linsanity, okay.
Linsanity. I'm gonna bring it. I'm gonna bring it every night out of New York, Madison Square Garden. I'm gonna get them up on their feet every time I score. Yeah, it's gonna be nuts. But
You're
yeah,
taking it?
In this fake situation where my life isn't on the line, yeah, I'll take it. If this was real, oh no way. No, I'm not risking that. It would be so hard. There's pros and cons to it. Like Mike said, like people would sag off you, but like, who's gonna pass me the ball? It's tough, man. It's a lot to think about. But that's gonna do it for this week's episode. That was a fun debate. I had fun with that one. Thank you all for listening. Thank you guys for coming on. And we will see you guys next week. Peace.